we're going to look at organizing texts and how to avoid plagiarism. So that's the title of our seminar today. Now, but before we go, the first thing is to look at what we're going to do today. First is that we are going to review from the previous seminar what is academic writing, the structure, the types, new topics, and overview. And next is that we look at what is organizing, how do we organize our texts. So it means we have two parts for today. One is organizing our texts. Two is how do we stay away from plagiarism. Fine, plagiarism may be very difficult to get out of, even for the professionals, or let me say even more senior academics, but to an extent, we try to battle it, to fight it, because there are many times you also have some things going on in your head and you think you've produced something new. However, many people have already talked about it before. Many people have already done something in that line before. That are why we also need to also stand on what some scholars call standing on the shoulders of the giants. Standing on the shoulders of the giants. What does it mean? It means there are great scholars that have done some works in the line with something you also want to do. So why don't you learn from them? We talk about the short writing, right? We talk about the long writing. We talk about the dissertation. We talk about the journal writings, right? And we said they are different. What makes them different? Academic writing has a tradition. And one thing about academic writing is that it usually follows templates. It has a template. If you are submitting to a particular journal and you miss a particular necessary template, you may, your work may be good, it may be rejected. Because they have a template. They have what they're expecting from you. So that's another thing you need to pay attention to on how academic writing can be different from normal writing. So, and most of the short essays, for example, it's usually between something like 40 maximum, 20, 40 words. The normal essays of 100 words, or let's say 500 word maximum. The long essay and academic writings are more than that. Your introduction alone could be about 500 words. Abstract, for example, the list of our abstract would be between, some would say 150, but the ideal one is between 250, 300, 500. Abstract. So, what is an abstract? What is abstract? Abstract isn't a summary, but some students, some people think it's summary. It's not summary of your work, because it also has its own rules and expectations. So one of the expectations is that we expect to see what is the overall result. What is the entire research about? Okay, after an abstract, we also have what we call keywords. You will see it in some papers. What is keywords? Keywords simply means the key words that you found, you used in your writing, in your work. And keywords are not just keywords that people pick randomly. They are the dominant of your work. And if you understand how keywords work, it can help you to easily find the necessary materials you need to use. What do we mean by organizing? So in organizing, it helps to prepare a format, because organizing means you need a format. Even short pieces of writings have regular predictable patterns of organization. Short pieces, right? What is a typical predictable one for structure for short pieces of writing? Good. Introduction, body, conclusion. Description of situation. Descriptions of situations, the patterns. So get those key things. When you have it, it helps you to structure your writing. You want to describe the situation. That's the first. The second is identification of problem. And next is a description of solution. Those are the patterns. You have a statement of problem, and In there, I told you the last time that typically, an introduction part is where you have statement of the problem. And the statement of the problem will now lead you to have key questions for research. So, next will be description of solution. Description of solution, in the main body, what do we say we have in the body of academic writing? Literature review. In this literature review, what do we have? We have many things in literature review. Basically, we have what we call conceptual literature review. We have what we call empirical literature review. And we have what we call theoretical literature review. Conceptual means what are the key definitions of some of those keywords that you are looking for. Empirical, what does empirical mean?
Experiment.
Experimental. It means, according to Kayan and Ruler, they did a research, they conducted a research in Syria on gender violence, or no, domestic violence, right? In Syria. So, in this particular ethnic group, right? And you will now saying they said this, and from Kayan you move to Diana and Katya. From their own aspect, they did one in Kazakhstan. So now you are synthesizing your literature review there. Theoretical. Remember last year in our first semester we talked about importance of theory. Use theory to guide work, because there are a lot of existing theories. There are a lot of many theories that have been, and they use it. We use theory to guide work because they use it to shape. But how do you draft? That's another thing. How do you draft? So drafting could come in different forms. People have different inspirations for how they draft. Regardless, it's important for you to draft because your drafting will help you to manage or monitor the key works you need to do. Thesis. This is not the thesis your paper. We said thesis of your work. And we said it's a guide map, right? And it usually appears where? Where can we find the thesis of your work mostly? Number one is that it's grounded in your introduction, right? But sometimes, some people will say that you can have it, the best originally, where people put it is towards the end of the introduction. But sometimes you can have it at the beginning. In academic writing, it can be at the beginning of your introduction. It could also be in the middle. The major thing is that it is telling people or telling yourself while you're writing what you want to write about. So you have drafting of introduction, you have drafting of a body, you have drafting of a conclusion.